Chateau! This week for the first edition of 2022.
Yeah, we're back at 2022 and we're welcoming Mr. Record Producer Extraordinaire. He's worked with incredible artists like Kiss. He's worked with Korn.
Oh.
He's worked with Alice in fucking Chains. It's the one and only Mr. Toby Wright.
Did they ever let Alice out of those chains?
I don't think so. I think Alice is still in those chains to this day. Poor Alice.
That's been years now, I think.
I know. But did Alice deserve it? That is the question.
Well, no one will ever know.
No.
Unless we speak to Jerry Cantrell. Yeah, he's done. He mixed and produced one of my favourite albums in history, which is Follow the Leader by Korn. He's also worked with Seven Dust. He's worked with Taproot. He's worked with Soulfly, Three Doors Down. Unbelievable bands. And this was a gloriously lovely and fun interview. Toby was a genuine legend.
He really is. Incredible stories to tell. And the man's a whiz with a Zoom deck background. Let's give him some props for that one.
Oh, yes.
Not only is he a record producer working with some incredible bands, like we said, but he's also a podcaster himself. He does his own podcast called My Wright Stuff, and it's amazing. And he also has his own, how's best to describe it? It's like a sleep help.
So it helps with mental health sort of thing,
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
so
sleep and mental health help using music.
And sounds, reduce anxiety, greater self-esteem, improve overall physical and mental health.
Yes, and that is called Taummhoms.
Taummhoms?
Yeah, we had to get it out of him during the interview how to pronounce it, and look, we've forgotten already. But you can find out all about it in this amazing episode. Toby is an absolute legend and a hero, and he flicks a couple of switches, lifts this up, brings this down, and says things like this.
Taummhoms is a natural sleep and sound healing portal on the web at Taummhoms.com. And what it does is it will help you sleep. And it also will help you get rid of any anxiety and depression and mental health issues that you might have. It's built around something called a principle called sound healing, which I didn't know even existed. Until I had a car accident and I had major nerve damage to the right side of my body. Right now, and I made some of these quote unquote tonalities through a whole bunch of research that I did for about a year before I ever stepped into the studio and attempted to make something. And once I did, I realized the power that sound has.
And he goes to the band, tells him he wants it this way, that way, and the other. Goes back to the mixing desk, turns a few knobs, loves it, enjoys it, and then says things like this.
So the way I deal with not a good idea, guys, is, or this sucks, or, what is this shit you're playing? is I record everything we do in rehearsals, right? So that, I ask that you as a musician don't listen to what we're doing. You just play your ass off. And make, if there was a change in the bridge, for instance, let's run it from the top all the way through and make that change happen in the bridge so that when we are done playing it, we can then stop and go listen to what we've just recorded.
Then he turns on his tones and then gets into bed. And then in his sleep, he murmurs things like this.
Jerry called me up and said, "Hey, man, you want to do an EP with us?" So I'd love to. You got any songs? He's like, "Yeah. I got some songs. I've been working on a bunch of stuff. Cool. We'll meet you in Seattle." And, I said, "Well, can you send me something?" He goes, "Man, I'm in Australia right now. If I send you something, it won't get there until after we're done." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, you probably got a point there. Thanks." So he said, "I got like 15, 16, 17 songs. I'm good to go." And so we went up I met them in Seattle, walked into the studio, set everything up. Band comes in. We were sitting around all giggling, laughing at each other and having, some stories from the road. And I was like, "So, let's get rocking here. What about some of those songs?" And Jerry goes, "Funny thing about those songs, I don't have any." I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was my look on my face too.
Yeah.
I said, "So what are we going to do for the next 10 days?" Because we had 10 days of studio time booked at London Bridge. And he said, "Hey, man, do you mind if we just jam?"
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Chronicles of Toby Wright, out this Friday, 6 p.m.
Be there or be oval.
I am definitely going to be a trapezoid for 2022.
Ooh, fancy.